Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slain Hope, and I got another video for y'all. In today's video, I want to talk to you about alcohol and gambling, because those two things seem to be a big problem in our communities, right? And a lot of times they lead to detrimental consequences, right? Like, how many times have we heard stories about dice games going wrong, right? Or gambling addiction, or people gambling their savings away and putting themselves in crazy situations. I personally even have friends with those type of issues, right? Who just kept messing up their situations because they just couldn't stop gambling. And let's not even get into the alcohol. How many people wake up in prison after they sober up? How many people do things, impulsive things, that they normally probably wouldn't do if they were sober? So this is a very prevalent and serious issue in our communities. And I wanted to share some things with y'all real quick. Now, you ain't got to be a Muslim to take heed. I'm going to read two verses from the Quran, and then I'm going to go into a more in detail conversation about these two things. Now, in chapter 5, Al-Ma'idah, verse 90, it says, "O you who believe, intoxicants," speaking about alcohol predominantly in this verse, right? Intoxicants, alcoholic drinks, and gambling, and al-ansab and al-azlam are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. So avoid strictly that abomination in order that you may be successful, right? So they saying it is an abomination of Satan's handiwork, right? This is, and then in the next verse, 91, same chapter, it says, "Satan wants only to excite enmity and hatred between you with intoxicants and gambling, and hinder you from the remembrance of Allah and from as-salat, which is prayer. So will you then not abstain?" Right? So I want to, this is what kind of like what I want to focus on, right? It says he only wants to excite enmity and hatred between you with the alcohol and the gambling. Now, let's talk about this real quick, right? Because let's talk about this, right? Enmity. How many beefs, like I said earlier, prior, how many beefs have not started because of drinking going wrong? Because people wasn't able to control themselves and handle their liquor. Or because people were gambling and somebody was beating somebody. And I'm not talking to you from a place of I'm a saint, I never indulge in these things, because I have. I'm coming from a place where I had to sit back and reflect, because I don't have these moments too many times, right? Where people are drinking, where shit get out of hand, egos get tested, testosterone in the air, and all because people had a little too many drinks, it leads to something. Just like I've been there when people is gambling. See, when gambling is like this, right? You're gonna lose way more times than you win. That's just how the shit go. Honestly, most people. I'm not even gonna say yeah, because I don't want the people like, oh, always not. I'm not trying to get into that. Most of the times, the money that you lose gambling, you oftentimes lose way more than what you gain. Oftentimes, what I'm saying, right? Because think about it. You might win. You might go one day, you win. You feeling good, right? You feeling like, yeah, I came up. Then you go back the next day, you might lose. But you always remember, it's almost like you chasing that high of when you won. And even if you didn't win, you always chasing, but I could win. You get what I'm saying? It's like lotto. Lotto keep you playing, because it's like, yeah, even though you're spending your money on it, you always thinking like, but what if I win though? It's going to change my life. So it's the same thing. So you get caught up in this cycle, right? Where you're self-inflicting wounds upon yourself. I'm telling you, like, how many people, because some people become addicted to that. They kind of like start to chase that high. And and this is just like on some casino level, on some just gambling, right? But if you playing dice, like a lot of people like playing dice. If you playing dice in the hood, you know how it go. You beat somebody, it's a problem. It's a problem. Sometimes dudes ass bet. Sometimes dudes want to rob. I give you a personal story, man. One time I was gambling. I shouldn't have been. I was gambling. I was playing dice. Get what I'm saying? I'm playing dice. And then the dude didn't want to pay me. I could give you 3 different stories. One story is this. I was gambling. I was losing. I'm saying this is like way back. Get what I'm saying? I was losing. Get what I'm saying? And then I was down like $500. That's not even a lot of money compared to like what other people be gambling. I was down like $500, $600, somewhere around there, right? Close to a G. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You feel me? And you get what I'm saying? Like, I was on deck. You get what I mean? I was on deck. And in that moment, I'm contemplating. I can't remember if at the time I was drinking. I can't remember if I was drinking during that. But I started contemplating. I might have been a little something, you know. And I started contemplating like, I should get this dude. Right? Look, it's a reason why they call liquor spirits, man. There's a reason why they call that stuff spirits. But anyway, I don't want to veer off, but just keep that in mind. So now I'm sitting here contemplating on getting this dude. I don't got to pay this dude. I'm saying my evil self, my dark self, my shadow is telling myself, I ain't got to pay this dude. I should rob him. He's soft anyway. I didn't do it. But I'm just showing you so many different outlets that can happen. And that happens all the time. Dudes get mad and be like, man, I'm robbing them. And then sometimes they even go even wrong and people get shot. Crazy. Then what's the name just get shot, take off out of a dice game. And that's not the only example. We have countless examples of dice games going wrong. Another situation with a dice game. I was beating this dude. And then he started like, he didn't have the money on him to pay me. Excuse me. He didn't have the money on him to pay me. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, I was like, all right, cool. But then it was just like, it was becoming a hassle for me to get my money from this dude. So that creates enmity. That creates issues between people. Another situation. I was playing with this other dude. He tried to tell me, yo, the dice landed on the crack. Y'all know what I'm talking about for those of y'all who play the game. The dice wasn't on the crack. Everybody told me, yo, the dice not on the crack. Pay that man. He didn't want to pay me. I sat there and tried to plead with this guy like, yo, you're not going to pay me my money, bro. Pay me my money. The dude looked me dead in my eye and said, I'm not paying you. So I snuffed him, right? Situation I could have been avoided. Then the dude started acting like he was running. He was like, all right, wait right here. He was like, I'm going to go get something. And me, with the spirits in me, with my shadow tapping into me, talking to me, my dark side, I said, go get what you're going to get. You're going to die right here, homie. Word of everything. Because in those moments, you're not yourself. Or you're not your rational self. You're thinking with the nigga within you. You're not thinking with the high intellect. Right? So, in that moment when he did that, I wait right there. I responded with a go get it. I'm going to be right here. Go get it. I guess he came to his senses because he was like, oh, I guess that worked with other people. But it's like, the point I'm trying to make is that when you are under these influences and you playing these dangerous games, goes back to the book, enmity, that the shaitan, the devil uses these tricks, right? He only wants to excite enmity and hatred between you. So I'm giving you examples of how these things happen. With these two things, with alcohol and gambling. So many different situations. I used to play dice with my mans in them. This is my mans, friends. We cool. Put in work together and all that. And even then, when I was beating them, I remember one time my mans, he threw the money at me. Or he threw it on the floor. He picked it up, you know, because he caught himself. But what I'm saying is, in the moment where he was losing, he threw the money like he was upset that he was losing. It wasn't about nothing. It wasn't nothing serious. But I'm just showing you how sometimes little things can happen, even with those who are close to you. You get what I'm saying? How many of y'all get drunk and be trying to fight y'all mans? I don't be trying to fight my mans, and I never really kind of like allowed that with my circle, right? But it happens. I seen that so many times within the set. Dudes getting drunk, trying to show off. Like, I seen that too many times. So the point that I was trying to make in this video, I ain't trying to tell nobody what to do with their lives, but I'm telling you to reflect. Because a lot of times, like I said this before in another video about the shadow, your dark side. See, because everybody is good and evil. The purpose of life is for you to struggle. See, the word jihad in Islam, it means to struggle. And in life, it's always a struggle between good and evil within yourself. Not just in the world outside of you, but within yourself primarily. So you constantly got to struggle with yourself. Constantly. Every single day you got to struggle with yourself. So you try to suppress your dark side. You try to suppress your shadow. The wickedness of your own soul. Right? But what happens is, because you're trying to suppress parts of yourself, it creeps out from time to time. And like I said this before, it creeps out when you're angry. It creeps out when you're joking. It creeps out when you're stressed. It creeps out when you're drunk. And it creeps out when you are in a position of power. When you got dominance over somebody. You feel like you could do whatever you please. But the point I wanted to highlight in this aspect is the drunk part. When you're drunk, your inhibitions are lower. The things that will normally prevent you from doing stupid things, or not stupid things, from doing, stupid things too, from doing the things that you naturally, like your natural impulses, because you have your conscious mind to be able to tell you, nah, bro, chill, that's wrong, don't do that. That's unacceptable. When you drink, you don't have that consciousness, right? When you drink, you give free reign to your dark side. And when your dark side is running loose, ain't no telling what you're going to get into. Ain't no telling what you're going to get into. So again, drunk, and anger. It's 2 times when your shadow come out, right? So when people gambling and they losing, guess what happens? They get angry. They get upset. They feel some type of way. And if you mix that up with alcohol, bro, it's a catalyst for destruction. So I'm just sharing this with you because I done experienced situations. I done been there. I remember my friend had a gambling issue, and I'm gonna end with this. One of my friends had a gambling issue, and I used to lend him money, and then he used to kind of like sometimes play with the payments, and that was trying to create a rift. Because I'm like, yo, bro, like when you get your money, you don't never think about paying me. You don't never think about like, yo, let me give Vic his bread. So I'm just showing you different examples and different angles how gambling can destroy relationships. Like it says in the Quran, right? This is Satan's handiwork to create enmity and hatred amongst one another. Because nobody like to lose their bread. Nobody like to lose, right? So I just sharing that so y'all can be mindful. Let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section though. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you stay blessed. Peace.